All right, good morning.
Good morning.
So I'm here with Mirna, and Mirna just did the Metabolic Reset program. And so we wanted to have a conversation about her experience with the program and what the effects were. So Mirna, you started the Metabolic Reset in mid-June, and the Metabolic Reset has 6 weeks of a fat burning phase. So you went through that, and now you're 2 weeks past that in maintenance, and you have had some amazing results. And actually, we just saw each other Saturday night. We were at the community tennis party, and we were having such a great conversation about the Metabolic Reset, the results that you've seen, results that other clients have seen. And I said, boy, we just have to capture this conversation. So here we are to capture your experience. So let's start with your why. Why did you want to do the reset? What was your motivation?
I was having problems with inflammation of my knees. It was hard for me to play tennis, hard for me to bend down, hard for me to go up and down the stairs. And so this particular day, I was talking to your husband because he was my tennis partner that particular day, and he was telling me about the results he's gotten with being in this program, and I asked him to have you give me a call because I was interested. And the results that I got from this was really good. But one of the things I have to tell people though is the fact that you have to be very, very disciplined to do this. You can't sit there and think you're going to cheat. You can't, because the only thing is you're going to end up hurting yourself in the process. You know, why do it if you're going to start cheating? So I set my whole mind that this is something that I'm going to do, and I'm doing it for me. I wanted to make myself healthier. I had been diagnosed back in 2001 that I had MS. In 2005, I was put on medication. The medication and the process gave me a fatty liver. And so I had stopped the medication, but the inflammation still stayed there. So I've always felt real bloated. No matter what I did, I tried dieting, I tried doing all kinds of stuff. You know, I don't eat red meat, I'm allergic to seafood, so I don't touch any of that. You know, I tried to eat just 1 carb a day, and nothing worked, you know, and it was like, well, yeah, I still felt inflamed. And then last September, I went on vacation with my sister-in-law. It was her 70th birthday party. And she took pictures, and in the pictures, I saw how bloated I was. And I thought, I have to do something. So Pete playing with me that particular day was a godsend to me, because, you know, it was like, this was meant to be. So, yeah, and the program is great, providing you stay by the rules.
And that's my job. You know, I have a plan, a strategy, and I provide the coaching to keep people on target, doing what they're supposed to. Because you're absolutely right. If you follow the program, you follow the directions, the results are amazing.
Yeah, because I basically wanted to do this more for health reasons than anything else. I wanted to get the inflammation out. I wanted my fatty liver to leave me. My cholesterol was up. My blood pressure was up. So I stopped taking cholesterol medication when I found out they have a correlation between cholesterol medication and dementia. And I thought, I'd rather die of a stroke than lose my mind.
Oh, gosh, Well, and that's what gets me so fired up about the Metabolic Reset. It's all the health benefits. You know, amazing health benefits when we get inflammation under control, and then the weight loss is such a wonderful side effect.
That was a plus to me. My deal was to get healthy. And the fact that I lost inches and I lost weight, that to me was the, you know, the cherry on top of that. Sunday.
That's awesome. And that's why I love the reset, because as the decades go by, there's such, you know, most Americans have such a decline in their health with chronic inflammatory conditions. So doing a program like this and learning lifelong strategies to keep that inflammation down, that's what sets you up for a great quality of life. in all the decades to come.
Right.
And I think that's, I think we're in agreement, and that's the most important part
Right.
of the
It's
reset.
more healthier.
Yeah.
Even, I went to the doctor like August 5th and got my blood drawn and everything. And my cholesterol level is so low. It was 382, by the way. Now it's 231.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 382 to 231.
Yes.
Oh,
and he was tickled pink by this program. He says, I don't know what you did, but this is really working. You've lost 20 pounds. He says, I can't believe that since January you lost 20 pounds. I didn't want to tell him I lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks, but.
Uh-huh. Oh, that sounds like I should meet your doctor. Well, that's so awesome. So let's talk about maybe your specifics that you noticed as benefits of the metabolic reset. Like one thing that I know bothered you that we talked about was that your knees were swollen.
Yeah, my knees were very swollen.
Yeah, so in the beginning, before you started, we talked about you felt like your movements weren't as quick as they used to be. And here you love to play tennis.
Right.
And so that was really bothering you. So tell us what you noticed about your knees.
Well, there's no inflammation whatsoever. None. And I can cover more court now because I'm not being restricted.
And what do you think your knees felt like before?
They were like, I had added weight on them because I couldn't go down the stairs without, once like a child, one step at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and now I can run up and down the stairs with no problem. I never had problem going up. It's coming down that was always bothering me.
Some more bending of the knee
exactly.
was more restricted because of the inflammation. So that's an enormous change.
Yeah, it is a big, big change. It's a big change.
And then we talked too about you feel like there was so much bloating in the midsection.
Yeah, I always looked, no matter what I wore, my stomach was, and people say, well, where, Spanx, and I'm like, I'm dying. It's hot out. Why am I going to put something that confines me? I'm like, nah, I'll just do more sit-ups, right? And it still never worked. But it was, again, all the bloating that I had in my system.
Yeah. And you mentioned that there was an impact on your liver from taking medication for a while.
Yeah.
So one thing with the metabolic reset is that we incorporate intermittent fasting.
Right.
And so when we do intermittent fasting, we really give our system and our digestive tract a break. And that's when a lot of detoxification can occur.
Right.
So that may be part of, how I know you felt like you had a tremendous detoxification.
Right. Because, when I would go to the bathroom to urinate, it would be like really very quick. Now it's like it brought all the water retention that I was having. Yeah. It's just. The amount of urine I put out now is unbelievable. Though the doctor said, well, when you're losing weight, you drink more water. No, I always drink a lot of water. And I never had these results. Yeah. So I feel like my kidneys are really functioning good.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And flushing those toxins out of your body. Well, amazing. So you had a huge anti-inflammatory effect. And another way that we measured that was the measurements around your shoulders.
Right.
So you had said to me that there was a tremendous reduction when you measured before and after the reset.
Right. So it was like the difference was 9 inches, and that to me was tremendous. Yeah. And now it's funny because I'm shopping in my home closet. Clothes that never fit me before are fitting me, and a lot of the stuff was up here. Where things were so tight.
Yeah, and that's definitely inflammation. Like we just don't carry that much fat up in the upper body. I noticed that, Mirna, when I looked backwards at a group tennis picture. So it was an older picture of you. And so that's when it really clicked for me, the difference. Yeah. I could see what you were talking about.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, that was big.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, when we went to cities, I wore the same outfit, and that morning I looked at that picture and I thought, oh my God, why didn't anybody tell me I was this fat? And then I realized, people don't tell you well, at least my friends don't.
And you know what? We gain so slowly over time that it
Right.
was never like this dramatic,
Right.
gain that people would notice. It just kind of creeps on slowly over time.
Right. And no matter how much food I watch what I ate or whatever, and I go to a restaurant, I order like a salad, and I order, if it's meat, it has to be, charbroil and stuff like that. And I never eat the whole thing. I only eat small portions and bring the other side, and I have like 2 different days I could have.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, watching what I was eating wasn't helping.
Yeah.
So this program really.
Yeah. And one thing I know that people ask you is, well, what is the diet and can I do the diet?
Yeah.
And I know your response to that is, well, no, you really have to put all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Right.
And so it is very strategic in how we pull this strategy together. In the beginning of the program, we had what we call loading days. So we have some high calorie days to fire up your metabolism so that it's strategically easier to switch into intermittent fasting.
Right.
And then we have just a couple of products that help us kind of reset the stress response, keep our blood sugar balanced. And then my job as a coach, making sure that people are following the program, because sometimes people are making mistakes and they don't realize it. So
that's because they don't read what the
manual. So I want to look over and just make sure people are doing it right, or help them problem solve if issues come up. And then I think the most important thing is maintenance, because maintaining the results, that's the most important thing. And that's what makes this program different, in that making sure we have that long-term strategy so that we can enjoy our results. And so that's where you are right now. You're in maintenance. And in maintenance, we figure out, well, what can we add back in? Or, how much can we kind of increase our calories and still maintain that weight loss? And that's what's different for everyone. And so I stay with my clients so that they can figure out that maintenance piece. And the other thing, after about 4 weeks of maintenance, is that if there's additional weight that someone would like to lose, like you have a little bit more that you would like to lose, you can always do another round of the reset.
Right.
But it's designed for 6 weeks fat burning, 4 weeks maintenance, and a lot of people continue to lose in maintenance.
I've realized I've lost more inches because what didn't fit me back then, now I try on and it's big. Yeah. And then I realized, hey, I'm still, losing inches or whatever. Yeah. So.
Well, that's definitely fun, shopping in your closet. Yeah. Things that just, you have.
I had stuff that I was going to give away, and I stored it next door, and then I realized, you know what? I'm not giving this away. I can wear this now.
That's awesome. Well, that was lucky that you held on to it.
Yeah, it was.
Otherwise, you would have a lot of shopping to do.
Yeah.
A couple other things that you shared with me as a benefit of the Metabolic Reset was hot flashes, and that's a common complaint that a lot of women have.
See, my mother's 92 years old, and she still goes through hot flashes. And I thought, oh my God, am I going to have hot flashes for the rest of my life? But I haven't had one since I started this. And it's like a big relief, because in the middle of the night, also, I have those night sweats, and I don't have that anymore.
That is amazing. It's so common because the reason behind the hot flashes is that our female hormones become imbalanced.
Right.
And we start to have, both our female hormones can be low, but usually progesterone drops a lot faster. And we'll have more estrogen compared to progesterone. And so, and that happens, that's a common question, like, well, I thought my hormones were low. Well, yeah, they can be very low, but they're still out of balance.
Right.
And the more toxic we are, the more we have that imbalance.
Right.
It's like we can't clear our hormones. So the Metabolic Reset helps to balance hormones, one, because of detoxification, but two, because we are so tightly regulating blood sugar. So we balance insulin, we balance blood sugar, and that also has an enormous effect on our hormones. Yeah,
Right.
so that's a huge focus of the metabolic reset. Let's reset our stress response. Let's balance our blood sugar. Let's balance our hormones.
Yeah, and with the program, and it gives you, to eat vegetables and eat fruit and eat meat. So, to me, that deal was hard because of the fact that I'm allergic to all seafood.
Yeah.
I cannot digest red meat, so I had to eat chicken and turkey, and more chicken and then more turkey.
Yeah.
So, but I love to cook, so I make different ways of cooking.
You just got creative.
Right. And one of the neat things I realized during this process of that I, read every day and make sure whatever ingredients I was going to add to it didn't have any sugar. And I realized that you can use tomato paste and add water, whereas tomato sauce has sugar.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tomato paste doesn't. So
Yeah.
that's one of the neat things about finding,
Yeah.
reading everything.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, yeah, I make chili.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was able to eat chili with, I left the kidney beans out, but I still ate,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was, I read the ingredients and it says no sugar. Okay.
Perfect. So the program was a little harder for you compared to the average person because you had some food sensitivities,
right,
and foods that you had to avoid. So a very common question is this program hard? And what would you say to that?
No, I don't think the program's hard at all, providing that you follow their directions, because of the fact that you fast until lunch, and then you eat 4 ounces of meat, 4 ounces of vegetable, 4 ounces, and then you take your supplements. And meanwhile, you take your tea before in the mornings, and you do your lunch. And I take my supplements with lunch and everything. And to me, I don't get hungry.
Yeah, which is amazing. And that's what most people say, that once they get used to it, they get on the program for a few days, they adjust to it, and then the hunger settles down.
Right.
Now, we'll be hungry for our lunch, we'll be hungry for our dinner, as we should be, but it is not constant hunger. And we feel.
And I don't crave anything. Not that I ever craved anything, but one of the deals, and I have taken that out of my diet. I always had lunch where I had a handful of grapes and a handful of cheese.
Yeah.
And I've taken that out of my diet because grapes are high in sugar.
Right.
So.
Right. And so in maintenance too, that's one of the things that we figure out. If dairy is an inflammatory food, was dairy or cheese, part of your bloating? And we'll figure that out as we continue to
Right, because I haven't added the cheese into my deal at all.
Yeah. So we'll figure that out. So you're in maintenance. You're interested in doing another reset to really get to your ideal weight. And, as someone who received that diagnosis of MS, there's also other ways that we can continue to work together. And we talked about that some, about, I'm a functional medicine specialist. So it's all about finding root causes and the triggers of not only why did we gain weight, but why is our immune system imbalanced, causing an MS diagnosis. So there's a lot that we could do moving forward. But the last question that I want to ask you is, what would you say to a person who is thinking about doing the metabolic reset? Would you encourage them?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I've told so many people about it. You need to. As a matter of fact, this morning, one of my old co-workers called me, and I basically told her that, I got on this, and she goes, well, send me the information. So, she's supposed to send me something. I'm supposed to send her your name and all that. And so I'm going to do that. But I've gotten all kinds of people telling me, oh my God, you've lost so much weight. And I'm like, no, I got healthier. This is just a plus that I lost weight. To me, it was more about, getting myself healthy.
Yeah. That's the perfect sentence. I think we'll just end our interview right there, because I couldn't be any happier than with that sentence, that you're getting healthier and weight is a side effect of that. And that's why I love the Metabolic Reset.
Yeah,
So,
I would tell anyone that's thinking of losing weight, or if you want to get healthier,
mhm.
this is the way to do it.
Awesome.
This is definitely the way to do it.
Awesome. Well, Mirna, thank you so much for having this conversation and being willing to share your story with others so that we can inspire other people to join in
Right.
and get healthy too.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.